In this tutorial, we're going to teach you guys how to use collections to keep yourselves more organized in the administration screen. I'm going to log in as Jim Werner, science teacher at Clark, because his screen looks a lot more like your screen than mine does since I'm an administrator in ActiveGrade. So I'm going to just go in as Jim. And put in his password, which he was kind enough to give me. And it always brings you to the gradebook screen, which this is right here. But we want to go to the administration screen, which is in the top right corner. You click the word administration. Now, collections are all of these folders here, and I know this looks very overwhelming at first. Unfortunately, ActiveGrade currently has the bad habit of automatically expanding all of your collections into one big mess. And I hate that. They're going to fix that eventually, but they have a long list of things they want to change, and that's not high on their list. So the first thing I would make sure that you're comfortable with is expanding and contracting collections. So as you can see right now, we have two collections here. One is district resources, I numbered it 2, and the other is Clark Middle School resources. So even though it looks like an enormous list of things, you'll see it's actually pretty organized. So under district resources, we have examples, and that's where I gave you guys example content standards, example grading policies, and example rubrics. I have the grading periods for this year, so you don't have to set those up. You can view those right here. I have to select grading periods so that it would show us the grading periods that are in this collection. So you're going to use term 1 when you set up your class. Then there are all of the district teachers. And if you look for people, you'll see here are all the teachers who are signed into ActiveGrade. But what I want you to see next is your particular school. So now Jim is in Clark, so he's seeing Clark. If you're in Diamond, you should see 3.Diamond Middle School Resources. And then you'll see people. And you've got parents, students, and teachers. Okay, and the parents have no additional collections. Teachers have no additional collections. Here are the Clark teachers. But then when you get into students, you'll see that I have them organized by grade. And then for those teachers who are not part of a team or assigned to a particular grade, I think I have all of their subjects listed separately. Diamond, I know there is a reading teacher, so I have one that says reading. I don't think Diamond has math intervention, at least not somebody who's in ActiveGrade, so it does not say that. If for some reason I don't have your particular grade or your particular team or subject, please let me know. Everybody at Clark should be able to view all of the parents, students, and teachers that are inside of the Clark Middle School collection. And all of the teachers at Diamond who are in ActiveGrade should be able to also view all of the things that are inside the Diamond collection. However, only teachers who are assigned to a particular team or a particular off-team subject are able to edit things in there. So for example, Jim is on the Atlantis team in the 6th grade in Clark. So he has editing rights in here. So he'll be able to add students to here. Everybody else in Clark will only be able to view students in here. They can take them from here and use them in their own class. So for example, if somebody else on the Atlantis team wanted to use the students from Jim, let's say the math teacher on his team became part of ActiveGrade, he would be able to use those students that were in there because he has view access, but he wouldn't be able to change them. Only Jim could change them if they're in there. So Jim has change or editing access to Atlantis Science. And everybody should have editing access to their particular subject in their particular team or their particular off-team collection. So Kristen Rangel, you'll have math intervention, and you'll be the person who can edit the names that are in there. So I hope that makes sense to you. That's where all the students are going to go. What I want you to have to do next is create a collection for your own personal resources. So what you ought to do is click on the word All Items and then click Create Collection. And you're going to do exactly what I'm doing here. Whoops, let me pull this over so you can see it. We're going to say one, my resources. And by my, I mean you. So that's going to be the collection where you're going to put all the things that just belong to you, that are not shared amongst anybody else. So again, it auto-expanded this side here, which drives me crazy, but it's very easy to fix. You just go 2 steps and you have it nice and clear again. Then I'm going to click on My Resources, and I want to build some sub-collections or subfolders to help me organize the types of resources I'm going to need. So the first one I'm going to do here is My Classes. So that's where Jim is going to create and place his 4 classes, his blue, red, green, and yellow science classes. He'll create those here, and once he does that, they'll show up as classes. So he would go and hit the green Create Class when he wanted to do that, and he would do that while he was on My Classes so that they will show up in that screen. Going back to number 1, My Resources, he's going to next add a new collection, and he's going to type My Grading Policies. Now, he didn't have to do that. He could just have his grading policies in his My Resources folder, and he would look at them by clicking grading policies like that. But I just find it easier to have one collection just of my grading policies. So of course you can decide whether you want to have these subfolders, but I recommend that you do them. Next, he's going to create My Rubrics. And finally, he's going to create, make this so you can see it, My Standards. And that's where he's going to put his learning targets or his learning standards, which are the heart of ActiveGrade. So as you can see, now we have 3 major collections, 3 main collections: My Resources, District Resources, and then specific to your middle school resources. So I hope that helps to make this look a little bit more manageable to you. It really is not so hard once you get the hang of it. And I'm happy to give you guys any extra help that you need, answer any questions for you. Best thing to do would be to put your questions in our shared conversation in first class. And if you need to reach me by my email, you can do that as well. But probably better to do it in the first class, whatever they call that. I want to call it conversation, but that's not the right word. But that way everybody can benefit from reading your question and our answers to it. Good luck, and let me know if you have any trouble.